sweet jacket, bro.
Thanks. Some cool kid got it for me.
Yeah, I know. That's true.
My husband got it for me. He said it was really cool. And so I said, oh, is it? He's like, yeah, this is the first ever collab with...
A Latino with Adidas.
With Adidas.
Wow. From L.A., Shavaria, something like that.
I was going to say something that probably would not go over
Yeah, they didn't have my size. So I was like, Ashlee, this is perfect for you. You got to get this. This is... Yeah.
Well, they got the black and red ones. He's like, you should get these. And I could have. But I was like, I'm getting spoiled enough. Because you not only bought me this, but me more stuff.
Yeah. They had some dope shoes with it, though. Yeah, it sold out, like, immediately. And we went to the spot in L.A. that had one jacket left in small. And I was like, oh, yeah, you got to represent your last name, Ashlee. You got to be a Mesa. Mesa. How's that go? Mesa, plata. Mesa. You don't know that?
No.
Oh, what?
I didn't know.
What is it? Hands on the table, or hands in the air? Something. Mesa.
I don't know the words. I never know the words.
You don't know something? Come on, Nancy.
She's not Mexican.
I'm not Mexican.
I don't know if it's a Mexican song. It's in Spanish. She speaks Spanish.
I don't know.
Like
there's different class. I know, because you definitely can't call my sister-in-law Mexican because you cut me. Nicaraguan.
Yeah, man. See, people are, that's the thing.
I was like, dang, now I'm Puerto Rican. Okay, I'm sorry.
Latinos and Latinas, I know, they're haters. They want to benefit from the Mexican culture. They want to go to all of our restaurants. They want to eat all of our food. And then God forbid, call them Mexican. All of a sudden it's, it's the most disrespectful thing in the world. Come on, get out of here. Stop eating our tacos. You are not.
We have our own.
No, you don't.
Our own tamales.
They're not good. They're not good. They're not Mexican.
You never tried them.
They're not Mexican. You drink our drinks. You have our popsicles, our michoacanas. You have our corn.
You
our
know
elote.
what I just found out?
You have our tacos.
What I just found out, which I could be wrong. I didn't read. I don't read. I didn't read it
I know
to
that.
its entirety. So,
yes.
But horchata
yes.
is not Mexican. Someone said it's from Africa. But I didn't finish reading. So I finished reading because someone was like, I'm in Mexico, and whoever decided to drain some rice and put some milk and cinnamon. He was like, this is what I live for. Then he said, si se puede. I said, it takes someone so ignorant to say something like that. But he said, and then someone in the comments was like, no, it was made in Africa. And I was like, I didn't research any further.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'll tear it up. Oh, yes. I'll tear up some horchata.
I don't know if that's true, Nancy. I don't think that's true.
I love it. It's so good.
I don't think you don't never be ordering it at no restaurants. And it's at like every restaurant.
I don't, because I will tear it up. It depends, because there's some good ones and there's, it has to be a good one.
Yeah, that's true.
But you just be drinking agua frescas like they all good. They be tasting like water.
Hey, you put a mica in front of me.
Oh, mica
keep the picture.
You might as well just drink cranberry juice.
No, don't say that.
I didn't know that meant hibiscus.
Huh?
I didn't know that meant hibiscus.
you fluent Spanish speakers don't be knowing nothing. I forgot who I was. I think Erica or something. She recently was like, I didn't know those two were translated the same way. I'm like,
what is it? Mirate
crazy.
and marate? Or is it different?
Yeah, it would be mirate, right? Yeah, like a
Nancy.
Yeah.
The only thing I do with Nancy is I'll be like, is this a bad song or a good song? When I send her in Spanish, she's like, oh, no, that's bad. I was like, but it's got a vibe to it. It's got a vibe.
Yeah, that's always tough because I'll be listening to like a Bad Bunny song will come on because I don't really listen to much secular music. But I'll play Bad Bunny and other stuff because I don't know what they're saying. It just sounds good, So the American stuff I don't play because I get caught up on like what they're saying. But I don't know. I don't fully know Spanish, so Bad Bunny would and I'll be like, I'm gonna look into these lyrics, and I look them up, and I'll be like, ooh, never mind. Or I'll see the little explicit thing, and I'm like, how explicit can it be? I'm listening to the song, I'm like, well, I don't hear anything explicit. I didn't hear anything.
It's not real bad words. I know bad words, and that's not bad words.
Yeah. I know the bad words. That's not bad words. So I'm just be ignorant when I'm listening to that kind of music.
A mess.
Mm-hmm.
A mess.
All right, you want to do what? But what?
Oh, nothing. I was going to say, so now you're Mexican today.
Until Nancy disrespected my people, I became Mexican really fast.
Yeah.
What are you doing using my cup? This is not meant to leave the house.
I know, and
That's your cup?
yes. So there's a magnet on the bottom, so that it just stays. When
I got this little pool floaty at the house, and when you're sitting in the pool, it has like a little piece of metal in the like cup holder, so you put a cup that has a magnet in it, boom, and it connects it to it. So I got a few different cups, and I told Ashlee, she's like, "Oh, this one's mine," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's yours when you're using the pool floaty. You're not taking this out. We have at least 60 cups that same exact size,
and look
from Yeti and blah
is.
blah blah, and here it is today."
You guys share a lot of stuff.
No, well,
I listen. Ashley doesn't share anything.
No, I don't share
share
anything.
everything.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Which is,
like if I want that shirt tomorrow, I'm gonna put that shirt on and wear it oversized.
and it's no longer mine. I own nothing in life. I don't have a side of the bathroom. All our boys' stuff is there. Their toothbrushes, even though they got their own bathroom.
Yeah.
I have no side. I have nothing.
No space on the
It's all
bed
been-
either. You woke up
Yeah.
this morning, oh my man, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was so mad when he woke up.
Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, go ahead with the welcome.
Hey everybody.
Oh my gosh. It's just gonna be that type of day.
Welcome to Beyond I Do with my beautiful self. And
All right, you don't have
Okay.
to say nothing. I already know.
I look good.
I already know.
You already know what?
I don't have to say anything. I already know. Listen, I shaved today. I brushed my teeth.
Finally.
I did finally, man. Every day. I
I had
shave.
asked you this morning if you used my toothbrush.
Yeah,
Because it was wet.
I have zero desire to touch
Yeah,
any of your
I don't
stuff.
want. If you didn't know, you'll find
Yeah.
out today. Cavities are contagious, so don't share your toothbrush with your spouse.
I already
'Cause
know that
you
they're
already got
contagious, and
yuck mouth.
I don't be
and
touching yours.
I'll,
touching.
I'll find out soon. Because that
Listen,
mouth of yours, I'll find
I
out if a
didn't-
tooth
I
starts
didn't-
hurting.
Nope.
You used my toothbrush.
No, I bet Dr. Robbie taking care of me. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
root
good.
canal.
Yeah. No, that was something different. That
What
was
it- what
I have
was it?
sensitive teeth. That's what they say. They say I have sensitive teeth. I'm sensitive to things is what it is.
Yeah, you are sensitive.
That's what it is. Yes. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Beyond the Do. It's warm in here. Do we got the
It
little
is.
AC
It's
thing?
a little hot.
Oh, it's not even on.
I'm about to take my jacket off. It's
Where's the
70.
little
It
clicker?
says,
Oh, it's over there.
girl,
Hold on.
it's 74.
Pasta podcast.
I know,
Apologies.
I love
It's
it.
got to be. Yeah, it's got to be. Our babysitter, whenever she comes over to the house, she comes to the house, she comes with like jackets,
snuggie.
blankets.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Because we keep the house
Nancy,
so cold.
remember? She used to watch the kids, and
Yeah.
she's like, it's freezing in here. Yes.
That's how it's got to
Fan
be
on
done.
high.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, everybody, now we can do this. Now that we got the AC on. It was
Yeah, I don't
extremely
like how
hot in
I
here.
intro. You have that podcast voice. Do it again.
Got a voice for radio.
Yeah.
It's like the Ryan Seacrest voice. It's not deep,
Right.
but it's jovial.
It's nice.
Oh, thank you so
It
much.
works.
She's complimenting me today. That's the day. It's a nice day. It's gonna be a good day.
Done.
Welcome everybody to Beyond I Do. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you've enjoyed some recent episodes we brought to you, and we got some guests coming up in these next future episodes. Not today,
Yeah.
but going into the summer, we'll have some guests that we'll be bringing in because that's kind of when we'll try to slow the podcast, at least our recording schedule a little bit, because we record once a week. But when we go into summer, we kind of take some days off for summer with our boys and this and that. And so we'll record some kind of more interviews with some people. So we got a bunch of those scheduled. We got, some of our friends are coming out with a marriage book, Chaplain to the Chargers, his wife's marriage and family therapist. Gregory's are incredible. They'll be on a future episode. And we got some other couples that we're going to bring on as well that we just love their story and love them. So they will be on over this summer. So make sure you tune in. And our goal over the summer, too, is to bring in some older voices. We just talked about it today. So we'll have some very seasoned voices to speak into some of the things going on. What happened was a couple weeks ago, I don't think I ever told you this, like a week ago, someone just DM'd me, because my millennial parent clip just keeps going. I don't even know what
Yeah.
it's at now, but it it just every day I open my phone, it's, X amount more comments and this and that. And so I got a DM with someone that's older, a baby boomer, very angry at what I said about baby boomers. I didn't even say it. I think if you re-listen to the clip, like, I'm not saying, so to say that I'm like, yeah, you should cut off your parents if they're not being good grandparents. I'm sharing an observation of what's a reality in the world right now, and millions of people across all platforms tend to agree with it. And so, it's just always good food for thought. Hey, start inward reflecting, like, well, this woman was very angry.
It was a woman?
And yes. So she was very upset. And, and she goes, and of all things, I found out you're a pastor. Shame on you. And I was like, oh, you must have not have heard. Go ahead and look at the rest of the episodes. You're probably not going to be too happy with some things.
Absolutely.
So yeah, then I thought, because of that, I thought, well, we'll bring, we'll bring in some of our older voices that we love and appreciate, and they'll speak to a lot of what's going on right now in culture as well. I know our phones are radiating into the microphone. So yeah, we'll have some great interviews coming up in the near future. Well, we found a video that we thought we would share. This is a divorce attorney, and he kind of going back into intimacy. I know we've been on a couple of weeks, but I know that a lot of people, I've just been getting so much feedback from people in these episodes. So, it'll be good just to observe and speculate from our time with couples that we've sat down with and stuff like that. So basically, if you don't know the premise, there's a divorce attorney. He's scaling 1 through 10. He's got one of his staff members on the other side. They're recording him, and they're bringing up marital issues, and he's rating the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the
highest to the lowest.
Yeah, he's 1 to 10, but the cause of a divorce, right? Or the biggest implicator, right? Obviously, reasons. We know, divorce can happen for a million reasons, but he's talking about and he's a very successful divorce attorney. It's all his years of experience, and I've heard this from multiple divorce attorneys. I've done sermon series on it years ago, which led me to get a book deal, what was the data behind divorce and how kind of astounding it is. We think that, we commonly think that, divorce is specifically only attributed to adultery, which that could be a nail in the coffin, but that doesn't mean that that's fully what leads to it, right? We talk about breadcrumbs all the time in counseling and in things like that. Like, just because something was expressed in something doesn't mean that was the person woke up that day. There were breadcrumbs that led to, a distant marriage. And so he's interviewed, and they list things, children, blah, blah, blah. He gives scale 1 to 10. And so I think it's very interesting on not only the topics that they bring. Now, all of these things are in a divorce that they're saying. But what he is saying is, hey, there are some things that are the loudest when a couple steps to divorce. And I'll say why I agree, in years of counseling, marriage counseling and stuff like that, why I, think he's spot on. He's obviously using like real data with the couples that he's processed in divorce, and I'm using, counseling as that. But let's go ahead and play it as he will rate the implicators of people that have caused and led them to a marital separation.
Too messy.
2,
Different parenting style.
4,
Infidelity.
9,
Leaving the lights on.
2,
Unrealistic expectations about money.
6,
Needing more alone time.
2,
Disagreements over pets.
4,
Disagreement over children.
5,
Substance abuse issues.
8,
Lack of communication.
7,
Lack of intimacy.
25.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The
lack of intimacy is 25.
Yeah. And it's interesting, people's comments on it, because I read a bunch of them where, all of those things will lead to lack of intimacy. And, you're messy, you leave the lights on, we don't agree on kids, we don't agree on finances, it leads to lack of intimacy. And
no, I think that all of those things to lead to the pettiness of not wanting intimacy. So that's more, intimacy is held at its highest regard because that's the way that you hurt the person the most, to say like, I'm going to withhold this from you because you didn't do this. We've done many counseling sessions where a lot of wives are like, well, why aren't you intimate with him? Well, because he doesn't put his dishes away and he doesn't take the trash out. What?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do that, so you're rewarded. So now sex and intimacy is held as a reward or held as a, what is it, a bait.
Yeah, like a carrot.
Yeah. So if you don't do this, then you don't get the reward. Like, marriage is not a casino game or an arcade game to where that there's a grand prize. If I beat every level, then sex is on the end. And I learned that very quickly. Quickly and not quickly. Quickly with patience.
Yeah,
that I had.
You
But
didn't learn it quickly, but you learned it.
But I didn't. But mine was never the clickbait. Well, like if you do this, you do this.
Yeah.
You get this. I don't.
Yours wasn't in our arguing. It was kind of in your own
insecurities
past and insecurity and stuff
my
like
head
that. Yeah. But that being said, like all of these things aren't necessarily cyclical, and that's the way people want to treat it. Is
Right.
They want to treat everything as, well, all of these things that don't happen feeds into this one thing. Well, no, intimacy is just another part of the pot. And you'll notice that he said, he adultery was a 9, intimacy was a 25, which means he even defines intimacy differently from sex,
Right.
And he's putting that in a different category in and of its own. It's a 9, it's still high, but this increase of putting intimacy at 25. And what is intimacy? I mean, it's on both sides. So intimacy is dates. Intimacy is, we categorize it as people of faith is, we've said it before, which is, spiritual, emotional, physical. And so that's what the intimacy makeup. So when they hear intimacy, it's not just the husband, quote unquote, getting lucky. It's all around the intimacy approach of seeing each other, hearing each other, loving each other, caring for each other on an intimate level. And so that's conversation. That's, we were just talking to a couple this Sunday and they asked us, they said, has your marriage gotten better doing the podcast? And I said, actually, truthfully, yes, because for 1 hour every week, Ashlee and I have to talk to each other, and it's not about the kids. It's not about what we want for dinner. It's not about what movie you want to see. I don't know what movie you want to see. I mean, you and I, for a year and a half, almost, what are we? I don't even know what episode this would be, but maybe if we, a year's 52, we've never had a week off. So for the most part, if we're a year and a half in, we'd be like, I don't know, at like 80, 70 something, 76, 80. So let's just say in a year and a half, you and I have had 80 hours of uninterrupted conversation.
Right.
Even a hand.
We're 33, so we're
33 to this year. So, okay, yeah. So, 80, 85. So 85 hours. So in 18 months, we've had 85 hours of uninterrupted conversation about, like, literally almost nothing has been, wasteful. It's been about everything under the sun.
Yep.
There's been just a handful of those that have been with other people, but also talking about ourselves and them. And so also us, learning from other couples as well. But majority have been me and you. And so you look at that and you go like, yeah, I mean, you have no other option but to be healthier. And only on a handful of occasions have you and I gone into an episode not good that day, or arguing, or maybe not even wanting to do that episode. Yeah. And that's only happened a couple times, but that also forced us that, like, we had to deal with our stuff, knowing that we're, going into the podcast. So that is a version of intimacy, 1 hour uninterrupted, not watching our phones, not checking Instagram, anything like that. That's going to force your marriage to be healthier. And I found, doing this podcast to the degree that you and I are doing it regularly as we're doing it, it's one of the suggestions I make to couples in the past, which we still do. I say, go on a date night or whatever, but we always find excuses around date nights and all that kind of stuff like that. Well, in the evening when your kids go to bed, a husband and wife can go in the backyard or go in a nook of the house and you can have an hour of conversation. If you do that, and I know some couples, they watch this podcast together and then they talk about it and debrief about it. I mean, you will see that's part of intimacy.
Yeah.
It's going to bleed into your communication, but that is a form of intimacy when you're talking about your relationship. So, I think intimacy is much more than just, that moment that is being made in the bedroom. It's deeper than that.
Absolutely. And I think once the intimacy part is why I believe it's so high, is the intimacy of hanging out with your spouse and having the conversations with your spouse and really revealing between the two of you who your spouse, being that complete, what you talk about when you marry someone, it's not just physically naked in front of somebody, but spiritually naked in front of that person to say you can see it all, is that's where it then bleeds into all those lower categories that he named, to where the infidelity isn't even an option, because that's not even something that the man would think of, because I have so much intimacy with my wife. Why would I look elsewhere?
Yeah.
Because our marriage is good and our intimacy is good, then the kids are good, or I even with you and I've recognized in myself that when our intimacy not only physically and spiritually is obtained, I'm yelling less at the kids. There's less stress on me, and it's more of like, all right, I'm chill. I'm cool, calm, collected.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Like, why? There's no aggression that needs to be taken out anywhere else, and I'm good. And then there's no aggression towards you. So once we have that intimacy, and once we can get on the same path between each other of understanding intimacy is high regard in our marriage, that's why you brought it up, because it is. Although the time spent of intimacy was there's still a physical attribute too that you needed as a man as well, and that our marriage needed, that I had to realize, Ashlee, you got to do better in this marriage. You have to be willing and available and understanding, like, your husband wants no one else but you. So take that as what it is. Erica, Pastor Aaron's wife would always say, be like, girl, that man loves you. Let him do whatever he wants. Like, he desires you. So let him desire you to the fullest potential, and don't be ashamed of it, or don't hide away from it, because in those special moments, there's almost this protection too that a husband desires for their wife, to be like, you're in good hands with me. Like, I want nothing but to take care of you. Yeah. And if you can trust me on such a deep level of what that is, our marriage has nothing but gonna be good. Because you say it as well, is when we get to heaven, you make that statement. As far as in the Bible, it states that when we get to heaven and we're in the presence of God, it's this. Yeah. The like Book of Revelation kind of explains, if you read it in the Greek, there's an idea of, when God remakes the heavens and earth and we're in the presence of God. Often people ask, like, oh, am I still married to my spouse in heaven? And there's a few reasons why you wouldn't be. Number one, marriage, it was a gift to us by God to depict God's relationship with us, his love for us. And so therefore, marriage will be unessential when the fullness of love is in front of you, being of God. Additionally, though, there's a connotation in Revelation that being in the presence of God is like euphoric, and it has similar expressions to like the climax of intimacy. And so it's the highest, physical, emotional pleasure of yourself. And so, the presence of God is, not only beautiful, but it is physically powerful, in that sense. And so that is why the human relationship, the highest moment of emotional connection is the climax, and so every way that God's created us is with intention, but not also intention with mirror to Him, and what a relationship with Him is like in the fullness of a relationship with Him, in heaven. And so, in order to fully experience a healthy relationship the way that God has intended, you do have to be regularly intimate, not really just physically. It has to be an intentional connection. And so I would argue from the video we saw that
actually intimacy is the one that bleeds in everything else, rather the opposite. You know, their argument is kids, communication, messiness, this, that, and the other. You know, that feeds into negative intimacy. Actually, negative intimacy feeds into everything else. And so, and you even just said that. You said, you know, when our intimacy, our communication with an intimate desire, not just communicating our schedules and our calendars. It's, hey, what's going on with you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Do we need to speed up, slow down in terms of the progress of life? Do we, you know, need to pause and spend more one-on-one time?
Is this repetitive?
Yeah. We need to hold hands. We need to flirt. We need to, you know, you and I the other night, boys went to sleep 2 days ago. We ended up having a pillow fight, you know, in the dark, and, you know, and so
we were clothed.
It's yeah. But what'd you say, Nancy?
Bill said you
You shouldn't have been. Yeah. Well, that happens too. But it was just a full-on, you know, childlike play that was like you were already laying on bed. I was getting my contacts out, and I think I threw a pillow at you or something, but it was pitch black, and then you got up, and then we, you know, for 5 minutes just started blindly, and then I started hiding behind the wall, and then you were trying to get me and stuff like that. Well, that is intimacy.
And you teach me how to fight?
Yeah,
for no reason.
I've been teaching you how to fight because you think she has a theory of like if she ever got into an altercation, how she would beat somebody, and I'll be like, show me. And
I've never been in a fight in my life, ever. So I was like, teach me how to fight, and so. It's been fun. I like it. It's fun. She started punching my arm, and I was like, "You're not taking anyone out punching their arm, Ashley." Yeah. So I showed her where the kidneys are and all stuff like that. But that's it. That's part of intimacy. It's not just communication. How are you doing this and that? It's you know, it's childlike play. It's flirting. It's, you know, it is physical intimacy. It's also spiritual intimacy. It's, you know, praying for each other, encouraging each other, you know, all those things like that. And when that's not happening, that'll bleed into communication. That'll bleed into disconnection on children. That'll bleed into literally just physical intimacy in an isolated sense. It'll bleed into all the other things that they listed. Because one of the things that we'll do a lot in counseling is whenever one of the couples has an issue at the forefront, right? You know, let's just take the wife says, you know, he's very messy, you know, he's very this, and then the husband has his issues, which most of the time it's physical, you know. And so what I tell the wife is I say, okay, so for the next month, you know, he picks up after himself, puts the toilet seat down, does all the things you want to do. Is it changing physical intimacy? And they almost always go, well, you know, I'm a little overweight, and I've really been insecure, and I've really been, and then now starts the laundry list of things that go, wow, this, you know, we're trying to show, like, do you see this has nothing to do, you know, with this, or vice versa with the husband. Hey, what you want? Let's just say she does it tomorrow. Are you going to fall in love with her again? Well, not really, because okay, well, there's more to this that you guys aren't owning up to, and a lot of times it had, like, when I first saw that video, I was just like, from experience of sitting with couples, I was like, this is so spot on, and the fact that people have no experience. Are in the comments like, is what I really think it is. Like, no, coming from a divorce attorney, I know, you know, Carrie Newhoff, his wife is a divorce attorney. Her and I have talked about, you know, my book contents about the things that lead to divorce and stuff like that. She has echoed the same exact thing. She's like, yeah, it's intimacy. And there's a lot of things that unfold within intimacy that affect it. But she was, you know, same thing. It's anyone who leads to stupid choices, there has been a laundry list of things that have brought them there. It doesn't mean that it's okay, you know, but at the end of the day, there have been things that I believe that if you focus on the intimate moments with your spouse, that removes,
not only the confusion, but also removes the chaos of your life. And chaos of your life is your job, it's your kids, it's the schedule, it's all the programs that you have to do, in order just to move and breathe in society,
Right.
But that does not build a strong core relationship. If you think about two high schoolers that are in love and they're in high school, they are so obsessed with each other in the sense that they got no other responsibility, and we look at them and we go, oh, that puppy dog love. But if you boil it down into its truest sense, I mean, that is the boiling point or the beginning parts of love. Yeah. And a lot of marriages, they work in reverse, right? You have that for a season and then you get into routine, but you would give anything to have that moment again. But we look at young people and we think, oh, that is so silly. That's puppy love. That's this or that. We say, oh, you grow out of it. Right. Well, maybe you've grown out of it. And for me, that was something that I had always prayed and refused. I don't want to grow out of the puppy dog love phase. I don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to look at a teenager and be like, oh, they're more in love with the person they're with than I am with my wife of 10 years.
I even think when we walk around, because I remember we just got away and there was this couple and they were going at it. And they were in the middle of the walkway. They didn't even care. They stopped and walked. Stopped right in front of Adam and I and just started macking on each other. And we didn't go, we said, oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, you in love.
Go ahead, you in love. Yeah. Because when you think about it, you and I used to be there. We not macking in front of everybody, but in those moments, being careless, freeless to do
keep your hands off each other.
And those are things. I think immediately after we saw them making out, I held your hand because I was like, oh no, she ain't about to outdo me in the PDA.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I gave you a little hand hold.
Yeah.
But in those scenarios, it's reflecting and saying like, how is my marriage doing intimately? Do we have enough time spent together? If the kids go to bed, what does that look like for us? Our kids were gone this past Sunday, and you and I just hung out on the couch, laid in your lap, and we just hung out on the couch and watched TV. Talked, giggled, laughed. But in that moment, as a wife, no kids in the house, you know me. I'm going to go do the laundry, going to go clean the room, and I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm going to spend this moment and this time with my husband because these are the moments I honestly will never get back if I don't do them now. Yeah. Just like we talk about if we don't get these in small moments with our kids and our kids will grow up, and look at that way too with your marriage. If you don't do that now, your marriage will begin to become a discord and drag away, and then you're going to wonder how you got here and how that happened in the blink of an eye. Just like how your kids grow up, your marriage is growing as well. Yeah. Where do you want your marriage in 10 years? The same way you want that intimacy and relationship with your own kids in 10 years, you have to desire that same work with your husband in the 10-year long run as well. Yeah. So it starts with the little moments, ignoring the small stuff, ignoring the stuff that doesn't matter, the toilet seat. Yeah, okay, you can put the toilet seat down, but if not, get your butt in there, close it down, whatever. I live with boys. There's going to be pee on the toilet seat. Am I going to gripe about it? No, I'm going to wipe it down and I'm going to sit my butt down and go to the bathroom. But I'm not going to yell and scream. It's wasted air, I would say. And so many times we as wives just waste air just to be heard or seen. And in reality, it helps nobody. Yeah. It's not even helping you because now you're just mad. Yes, there's level of respect. They need to respect me. I'm the one, blah, blah. Yes, I get that. I'm trying to raise men. Yes. But calmly say, hey, boys, next time put the toilet seat down. Next time do your chores. Next time have the calm conversations that you try to have with your children, have the same conversation you have with your husband and see how he changes his perspective instead of you raising your voice, getting upset, and talking to him in a manner that is respectful. Intimacy. If you say it in love, he hears it. If you say it in a nagging voice or irritated, he ain't gonna do it. Right. And then hang the fruit at the end, and like you're not getting the fruit until you do that. He's gonna be like, whatever. Yeah, and I think at the same time too, it's just some things are important to people. And you have to make a decision in marriage, what's the hill that you're going to die on. Now, in theory, we all should be living selflessly for our spouse. Right. But nobody's doing that.
You know, nobody's living selfish because you could come to me and be like, hey, Adam, I want your side of the closet fully cleaned and I want you to have the boys, the toilet seat, blah, blah. And then I could say, well,
I want you to cook every night.
I want you to cook.
Like, keep that room dirty.
Yeah. And you could be like, well, this thing is really important to me. And I could be like, well, this is really important to me, you know, and you could say, well, I go to work too all day. And I could say, well, I go to work all day too.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to pick up whatever, you know. So you can always play a tick for tat game. There was always a, hey, this just isn't important to me. And it's, hey, if I love you and I'm fully selfless, then you should go 100% all in. But we are also very human at the same time. So I could say, yeah, just do whatever your wife says. But I would have to say to the wife, do whatever your husband says. And that can play both sides. And the reality is, us being human, everybody's tired differently. Everybody's going through things differently. Everybody has different makeups. Everybody was raised differently. And, you know, and some people try to make the argument and say, well, that's why you got to live with a person before you marry them so that you could see and make the judgment of this. I'll tell you this. It doesn't matter if you live with someone or not. They are going to have things that they do or about them that bother you or that is not what you want. And regardless, selflessness is how you have to live.
That's the funny thing, that we say that about marrying somebody before or living with somebody before you marry them. But I have kids, and I didn't have kids before I knew what they were going to do in my house, and now I got these 2 kids that are crazy.
Right.
So, but you're going to love your kids, right?
Yeah. Well, and data suggests the more partners you live with outside of marriage increases your chances of divorce by 30%. So the data doesn't support living together early. The data supports actually, you know, work on your selflessness and your communication and choose a person of character and integrity. And therefore, that is your highest opportunity of a healthy marriage and relationship, not necessarily seeing, oh, well, do the things they do annoy me more or less, and so I'm going to find the spouse that annoys me the least amount. Well, the reality is when you're married with someone for a long time, anything that they do that you don't agree with is going to start to annoy you at some point because it's the only thing that you see, you know, in them. This is a person that you're living with every single day. This is a person that you're going through every season of life through. This is a person that you're going through every phase of child rearing with. And so therefore you are not going to be able to growth hack living with a man or a woman to figure out, are all your problems going to be, you know, stress-free? You are going to have stress. You're going to have problems. The value should be behind the value of the commitment of the relationship, which is why we as people of faith are going to say marriage is going to be something you want to pursue relatively early on in dating. That is what you want to do with the mindset of it, because as you can see someone committed to the vow and the idea of marriage and doing the steps that it takes to be a person of character, to choose to be married, then what's going to happen is this is going to be a person that is more keen to a selfless living, because that is what makes marriage work. Intimacy is the fuel that you fuel the car, you know, but selflessness is going to be the vehicle that's going to take you, you know, and it's going to allow you to rise to an occasion to say, oh, I love my spouse more than this thing, right? Yeah. I've made jokes for 10 years about you not cooking. It's never changed anything, you know, and I could easily go, you know, I could easily be like, this is right here, you know, and truthfully, like before I got married, like I imagined, because my mom never cooked, so I imagined like, okay, I'm gonna be with someone.
Oh, you married someone like your mom.
No, I'm sorry. But I imagine like, okay, I'm going to marry someone. She's going to really love cooking. It's, you know, my mom did it, but very rarely. And I'm like, this was a really big, you know, important thing for me. And then, you know, we get married, realize not only do you not like cooking, you don't know how to do it.
No, but
you know, so I saw the pan of the eggs you cooked the boys yesterday. My goodness, the thing looked like looked like somebody murdered 2 chickens on the pan. And so, you know, I gotta make a decision early on.
He ate
know?
them.
Like,
he ate them.
I'm sure he did.
They were salted and peppered. No, nothing tastes like yours. That's why you cook. That's why, if no one knows, I'm going to tell you that today, Adam says that if he wasn't a pastor, he would have been a chef. So why would I cook? Why would I cook for a chef?
I got too much going on.
Why would I cook for a chef?
I'm not one. I'm not.
Doesn't
I
make any
would have been.
sense.
I'm a would have been.
Yeah, no, because when I sit in that kitchen and I feel, what are you using? I'm like, oh, I'm done.
Well, that's because I'm sitting on the table on my computer doing work, and I'll just hear, so how hot should the pan be? And should I use olive oil or balsamic vinegar in the pan? I'm like, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Let me do this real quick.
The idea of cooking that I manipulate to get him to cook. Like,
sure.
I want steak and frites.
Yeah.
You coming? Girl, I tried to make steak one time. I was so embarrassed. I never even told him. I threw that thing in the oven and I don't even know what happened. I ate it and didn't die. So
most of the time, because of a busy schedule, it ends in DoorDash most of the time.
DoorDash. But I'm making pasta tonight for my kids because I want pasta. I make pasta. But
for you.
we literally, my 3 dishes, that shredded chicken, pasta, what else do I make?
The little Italian sausage.
Oh, Italian sausage meat thing and shrimp tacos.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's the rotation.
Half of it is frozen pre-cooked, but regardless, which I don't do. I don't do frozen pre-cooked things, you know.
No, Adam's always like, did you use pre-frozen? And I was like,
do pre-cooked, frozen. Yeah, it's not my jam.
I gotta buy fresh shrimp. I'm like, oh.
Yes, we got cooking.
I gotta peel it and devein and get the little poop thing out.
Nah, they do that they got versions at the store and stuff like that. But anyways,
we could just go to boiling crab.
Yeah, there's that. But regardless, that was something that I was just like, okay, that's something that's not Ashlee's jam. It's something she doesn't have a desire to want to do. But there's also a million other things.
I just
don't stop. You don't have to go down that road. Okay. I already know. Don't. I do. I also desire to not have ADHD. You know, like I have desires.
So what's crazy is I was like last night. Was the last night? Yeah. So I was on my phone and I was like, okay. If I don't cook, I at least need to try at least twice a week. And I could do Crockpot. Crockpot, I'm good with. And so I found this girl. She'd be seasoning the crap out of her stuff. And I did it last night. And I said, I need to at least do 2 Crockpot meals because he comes home late on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays would be Crockpot because it would still stay hot for him to come home after service. And then Thursdays, he's home as well for dinner at night. Monday, Tuesday, Friday is just iffy because sometimes we will go out. But I was on it last night.
I'm glad you have the desire.
I do. It's in my heart of hearts.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not going to probably happen. Probably not going to happen.
Okay. It's not going to happen. Yeah.
We'll see. But if I make chicken and he got salmonella and can't come to work,
not
I tried.
if you crock-pot it. If you crock-pot it, it's going to cook. Yeah, I don't want you cooking chicken on a pan. Not you.
Yeah, no. They talk about boiling chicken.
Boiling chicken. And believe it or not, and I talk to real chefs. I go, isn't like, people act like chicken is like the go-to, like you should cook that. And I go, is it not like the hardest meat to cook?
Will stay away
and every
from
chef is always like, oh yeah, it's the most difficult meat to make.
Why I have never made it
juicy and tender
ever.
And all that kind of stuff. They have it right at the right temperature. It's not impossible, but it's difficult compared to all the other meats and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyways, it's stuff though that you choose to go. Hey, I'm gonna not. I'm gonna release it. I'm not gonna not care. I'm not gonna make it a big deal.
Where's it at on your the divorce scale? Because it'd be like a 1.
Cooking.
Yeah, it'd be like a 1.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Okay. It's not. It's not high.
Okay,
it doesn't. Yeah.
Good. We in this for the long haul.
I gave that up a long time, and it also wasn't important going into it. It was just the idea that I was like, okay,
I'm gonna
marry
meals.
someone that's like, yeah, it's gonna be home cooked meals, and
you should have. If I was full black, maybe, but I'm only half. Sorry.
Yeah,
and people make sure I know that.
Yeah. And your mama loved Costco. Mm-hmm. She loves them preheat Costco.
Yep.
Just throw them in the oven.
One day.
Yeah, exactly.
One day.
No, it's all good. It's there's other things that are important about you. So yeah. I'm good.
I would love to hear people in the comments of like what is something that their spouse they desired of their spouse, but they're just like, okay, whatever.
They just gave up.
Yeah, they just gave up.
Do you have one?
They're gonna.
You know what? Yes, Adam is pretty messy. I'm messy, but I know where everything is for me. He's messy, and then I throw his stuff places, and I forget where I put his stuff.
But I'm like I'm messy in
But he
like
knows
one
where everything
space.
is.
Well, I know where it's all at, but I'm not like house messy. I don't make a mess in the
oh
house.
gosh, no, he would get.
Yeah.
No, he's messy in his space.
Yeah, like I don't like
No,
take my clothes off wherever I want. I don't like.
No, it's just our closet.
Yeah.
The closet
My
is
side
a
of the closet is
yeah.
messy.
That's
yes.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
No, the living room, kitchen, all that stuff you keep clean because you
Yeah.
know me. I'm like, I feel like it has to be like a museum.
Yeah, yeah. It's stupid. Yeah. She hires someone to make sure that it looks like a museum.
No, not me. God, no. But I make sure I got that fabuloso.
Yeah, right.
Fabuloso
Exactly.
and Pine Sol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But it's not. That's not. I don't care. It's like it's one of those where you're just like, meh. He knows where everything is. That's the only thing. As long as he's got clean drawers, I'm happy.
I do all my own laundry.
He
all
does,
stuff.
yeah, he does.
In a perfect world, I don't know. That's one thing I've never been able to figure out. I've tried to have like my closet space like immaculate. In a perfect world, I think I've told her this too. In a perfect world, she does it. Like that's a perfect
all the
world.
time.
Like
yeah.
if we like got it cleaned once and then every 2 days she just kept it, maintained. Like that is a perfect
But
world.
he
because
needs to
I've
do
tried,
a purge
like,
though because he's lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
So one time I did it and I didn't tell him I was doing it. Girl, I threw out everything. Oh yeah, I did it. And then he was like, "Where's this?" I'm like, "I don't trash."
Yeah.
Trash. But since then though, because he'll give it to friends or anything like that. Now I'm like, okay, you need to because he's lost so much weight. You have to go through things because you can donate it. Like I'll do a purge of my closet when it just comes to me and I'm like, I have so many sweatshirts. And then like this week, purge the sweatshirts, purge my jeans, giving it to some people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but in a perfect world, I'd cook and I'd clean your closet. But you know what? God didn't make us perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, there's nothing we argue about regularly. There's nothing we argue, but it's not like anything house related or anything like that. No. Yeah.
No, I was trying to think real hard. You saw my thinking face.
Yeah.
That was my thinking face.
But again, not because there's nothing to argue about. There's many things to argue about in the home. It's just
it's not worth my air. I don't care.
You go,
Whatever. We getting Chick-fil-A? That's all I care about.
Yeah, that's her on the daily. What's for dinner? I'm like, I guess whatever you want me to order
You
is what
want
it is.
Yogi-Yo?
You
want Yogi-Yo?
But we're, as of recently, we're back on the tip.
Oh yes.
Though, so.
Yes.
Where I'm trying to go through the summer, just drop another 30. I'm gonna be jacked. Yeah. So that means I gotta cook more at the house. So there's that. But I bought a new air fryer that I'm trying to, it's that
that one it works really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
have
just
to
gonna
use
start
that.
using that.
Yeah.
Just throw stuff in there. Throw some Brussels sprouts. Throw some broccoli. Throw some fish.
You eat that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
Hey, the Brussels sprouts
He
gotta
doesn't
be like bacon
salmon. He
candy.
says it's too fishy.
It's the only fish I can't do. Well, not the only fish, but only popular fish I can't do. I do. It just can't be fishy. It's got to be like a white fish.
Tilapia,
Halibut.
Yeah. I feel like tilapia's fishy too. Yeah, he loves sea bass. Sea bass is bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. It's too fishy. But I love sushi. No, I've had like my dad's gone to Alaska and got salmon. I still can't rock with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fishy though.
He's like had it like one, like if it just so happens he ordered the wrong sushi roll and it's in there, that's the little sliver, that's all. But if it's on the top, he'll take it off the top. Yeah.
It's just not, doesn't taste good to me. Yeah. It's like too, but I honestly wish I liked it because it's plentiful and it's healthy and all that. But I'll do mahi, sea bass, all that stuff like that as well. So, yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on Beyond I Do.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed part of these, I guess we'd call it a series on intimacy. Hope you'd enjoyed it.
Yep.
And look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.
Bye.